So here we go again. It's another day and another PlayStation 5 Pro specs leak, but this time around it's from a very reliable source. Let's look into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about PlayStation 5 Pro specs some more. Now yesterday I reported on some initial PlayStation 5 Pro specs, and source of yesterday's information was Tom of Moore's Law is dead. And I know that he's pretty good with PC leaks and that kind of information, but in the past he was kind of off with some console information, right? So I was like, okay guys, take it with a grain of salt, like here we go, that's the specs he was talking about, he spoke about. And yeah, that's why I said take it with a grain of salt, right? And I reported on that 33 teraflops and ray tracing and that kind of stuff, right? But today we've got these pretty same specs confirmed by Tom Henderson, right? So he is very reliable source when it comes to especially PlayStation information, right? Now Tom was actually pretty much spot on when it comes to most, if not all, PlayStation 5 leaks in the past. You know, he leaked that PlayStation portable thing, Portal I think it's called. He leaked PlayStation Slim. He leaked obviously accurately as well the detachable optical drive for PlayStation 5 Slim, and a couple of other things here and there too. So when Tom Henderson speaks, we should really listen, right? But kudos to Tom of Moore's Law is dead too, because obviously, you know, Tom Henderson pretty much confirmed everything that the other Tom said, right? There's two Toms here. Tom of Moore's Law is dead. I don't know his surname really. I just know his YouTube channel, and Tom Henderson of Insiders Gaming. So what's the specs, right? Let's talk about it all today, because I'm pretty sure that this is legit now. I mean, like I said, kudos to Tom of Moore's Law for getting this thing right too. So the PlayStation 5 Pro specs, most of it is pretty much the same. I spoke yesterday. So rendering 45% faster than PlayStation 5. Ray tracing 2 to 3 times better performance, sometimes 4 in some cases. And this is only ray tracing performance, not like overall PlayStation 5 performance. I think that, you know, the rendering is faster. That's the real performance we should really expect. Performance boost we should really expect from PlayStation 5 Pro. He talks about 33.5 teraflops. Like I said in my video that, you know, because Tom of Moore's Law is that was actually talking about like 67 teraflops of 16-bit floats, right? But like really, you know, when we talk about when we compare apples to apples, we should really talk about the 32-bit floats, right? So 33 teraflops. But even that, like I said in my yesterday's video, these teraflops are not equal. You will not get the same amount of performance from the GPU, because what they did with the latest AMD architecture, I mean, I'm talking about AMD, they doubled the number of shaders without improving the whole GPU pipeline in general, right? So, you know, you've got the same number of compute units. Like I'm talking about, you know, AMD GPUs, not PlayStation 5 Pro with this right now. I'm talking about the architecture. So, you know, with certain GPUs, they just took the same they used the same number of compute units or graphics work groups, and same amount of geometry engines and all other engines that are inside the GPU, but they just double the number of shaders, right? So that's kind of cool, but there's bottlenecks there, right? That's why, despite the fact that you see 33 teraflops, that doesn't translate to 3 times the performance, because that's what you should get if we were to believe that teraflops actually matter that much, especially in that particular architecture, right? So that's that. PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling Anti-Aliasing Solution. So this is the custom Sony thing. Support resolutions up to 8K is planned for future SDK version. I mean, they were actually talking about 8K even for PlayStation 5. Custom machine learning architecture. So I wonder what that means. I wonder if that's custom Sony's or custom PlayStation machine learning architecture or custom AMD's machine learning architecture. And they talk about AI accelerator supporting 300 TOPS of 8-bit computation, 16.7 TFLOPS of 16-bit float point. But, I can bet a lot of money that it's still pretty much in the same GPU. So don't expect, this is just me talking right now, don't expect that neural processing unit that some people were talking about in the past, right? If anything, that may be some form of AMD's new AI architecture that we may see in the future. Who knows, right? We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's the specs, guys. And obviously they don't really talk much about CPU, GPU. I mean, from the previous leaks, we know, I can't really say no, but we insiders suspect that we're going to be looking at 20 to 30% increase in CPU specs, CPU clock speeds. So I mean, right now we are looking right now at 3.5 gigahertz for CPU on PlayStation 5. So 20-30%, we're looking at 4.2, 4.8. That's probably too high. So maybe 4.2, that sounds reasonable. 4.5, maybe, we'll see. Especially that they will probably still be using that, changeable floating kind of clock speeds, right? So we'll see how that goes. But generally speaking, looks like a PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be around 50% more powerful, maybe, console, overall. I mean, meaning that, when it comes to performance. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that every game will run 45% faster, because that extra power can be used for different things. And also, you will actually see more of a boost in games that are using ray tracing, because the ray tracing is going to be more capable, right? I mean, more performant on PlayStation 5 Pro. So I guess it all depends on the game and the technology they will be using. I mean, developers will be using. Looking at more ray tracing heavy games, you will see more of a boost in terms of performance. But when it comes to other games, probably around 40 to 50% better performance. But like I said, it also depends on the CPU. I mean, in some games you will probably just see higher resolutions, right? Or a little bit better graphics. The fact of the matter is that it looks like PlayStation 5 Pro will be less of a improvement than PlayStation 4 Pro was over PlayStation 4, right? And I guess it kind of makes sense, really, if you look at what's going on with the GPUs these days and the improvements and the cost of producing chips too, right? So anyway, guys, still, like I said, if you are a big PlayStation fan and you are playing a lot of games on PlayStation, I would imagine that having a PlayStation 5 Pro makes sense because you will just get much better experience. Just better experience overall. I still think that first-party games will be optimized, great for both consoles, both PlayStation 5 and Pro. Other games, I guess it all depends. Some games will take advantage of that extra power automatically, by upraising the games, like running games at high resolutions or better frame rate and stuff, right? Even older games, that's for sure. So anyway, I guess it's up to you. Like for me, it will all depend on the price too. But generally speaking, it looks like the PlayStation 5 Pro will be around 50% better, faster, more powerful, name it as you like, than PlayStation 5. Is it worth buying? I guess it's up to you, right? I mean, like I said, if you play a lot of games on PlayStation 5, I'm sure it will be worth for you. But other than that, we'll have to wait and see. And also, it also depends on the type of games you will be playing, right? Because in some games you may not even see a big of a difference, really, right? So, okay, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.